Welcome to FPL Selection. Today we'll see how the team is shaping up for Game Week 31, but first a quick look at how we got on in Game Week 30. So only 38 points this week and dropped 1200 places down to just outside 2600. Pretty low scoring week again this week. Isak captaincy with 16 points. That basically saved the week for me. I decided sort of towards pretty close to the deadline. I just fancied I was going to captain Isak against Leicester next week, and obviously the double in 32, so I thought I'd make it a block of 3. As I've mentioned before, I like doing these captaincy blocks because, you know, if there's any sort of variance where they score high in an unexpected game and, you know, maybe blank in a game you would expect them to score, you sort of cover that if you cover the block of 3. So yeah, that worked out really well, and yeah, obviously that's what's made up most of my points there. And then Palmer there with 6 points. Nice to see him get a return after a lot of blanks, and yeah, he was looking a lot better. So yeah, I'm glad I held on to him on the wild card. Not much more to say about this week really. Got a lot of points on the bench as well with my double Nottingham Forest defence, and Agbadu with 8 points as well, but there was never any chance I was going to play any of them, so no point looking at it. So moving on, and let's take a look at Game Week 31. So the likely transfer for this week was another one I'd planned on the wild card, was to bring Gordon in for Leicester away this week. Now, he was suspended until this game, and he did have a little injury with England, but as far as I can see so far, I think he should be fine for this game. And it'd be a good one just to bring him back in, I think, to you know, get him fresh and get him back in the swing of things. Semenyo's likely to be the one to make way. Potentially could be Bruno Fernandes as well. He hasn't got the best fixtures coming up, but in all honesty, Semenyo is quite a bad pick, and I only really got him in because I wanted to double up on Bournemouth. I felt he was the next best after Kluivert, and I didn't have a striker spot for Evan Nilsson, but yeah, I'm not really a fan of Semenyo, so yeah, most likely he'll be going for Gordon this week, unless there's any news that says Gordon's definitely out, but as far as I can see so far, I think he'll be fit and ready. And then sort of as a chip strategy, I think I'm likely to free hit in 33 now, after seeing the doubles announced. Basically only got Palace players, and I did have Gabriel, but obviously he's out for the season now. So yeah, I think it's going to make sense for me. I could pick whoever I liked from Villa, City, Arsenal and Palace. So I can have my pick and then I can revert back to my other team. I'm not that keen on City assets long term. I just think it's always a bit of a lottery who's going to play, and you know, it's just, there's no point trying to guess every time. You're not going to get the consistent points from anyone other than Haaland really, but obviously he's out. And then Villa, obviously with Champions League involvement, FA Cup involvement, yeah, you're just not really sure who's going to play each week at the moment, so it would just be nice to have a free pick from them for the Game Week 33, and then if I want to get any more of their players in afterwards, I can potentially do it for 1 or 2 weeks rather than a long stretch. So let's take a look at the team now. First up, the defence. So Pope is away to Leicester. Now obviously this was one of the good fixtures as to why I was happy to bring in Pope. Obviously the double in 32 is, you know, one of the main reasons, but obviously having Leicester away is a very good fixture as well. I think it's something that they've only scored maybe 1 goal in the last sort of 9 games or something. I'd have to double check that stat, but they're certainly not scoring many goals, that's for sure. So yeah, he'd say there's a high chance for a clean sheet for Newcastle this week. Then Kirkes is away to West Ham. Obviously disappointing result for Bournemouth against Ipswich last time out. West Ham certainly don't seem to score very many goals at the moment, and they struggled against Wolves last time out, so yeah, I think it's got to be quite positive there. There's a chance for a clean sheet, and you'd like to think Bournemouth have got a bit of a reaction now. They've I think it's 5 games, 1 point at the moment, so they're on a bit of a downward turn at the moment, so yeah, Kirker's always very attacking, so there's nice potential there for attacking returns as well. So yeah, quite happy with him in the team at the moment. Then Williams is away at Villa. Now, to be honest, I only had the one transfer, and it's likely going to be Semenyo to Gordon, so I think I'm just going to play Williams this week. I could play Agbadou away to Ipswich, but I think just the Forest defence has been so good this season, and I really should have got on it much earlier. I had planned to bench him for most of the rest of the season, but with Gabriel out now and I haven't got any transfers to get rid of him at the moment, so might as well go with the best defence I've got, and Williams I think is pretty nailed in there, so not really expecting anything away at Villa. It's unlikely a clean sheet, but you know, if there's any team that's just going to shut up shop for an away game, it's Forest. So yeah, I think even though Ipswich away is a good fixture for Wolves, I certainly wouldn't back them in any game really for a clean sheet. So, and Munoz is away to at home to Brighton. Now, he got taken off early in the Southampton game, so I'm assuming that was just a rest, keeping him fresh for the rest of the season. Obviously, every game he's very attacking, and yeah, usually his games can be quite low scoring, Brighton Palace, so yeah, maybe a chance of a clean sheet. But with him, it's always the attacking potential that's exciting, so yeah, he'll probably be in my side for the rest of the season. So moving on to the midfield, Salah is away at Fulham. I haven't had a chance to catch up with the Liverpool highlights against Everton. So say he was a bit quiet again, maybe had one or two chances, but Fulham away is not an easy fixture. Been pretty decent defensively this year. Just my theory on Liverpool is that the fact that they're so far ahead in the league, it's almost as if, you know, they don't really have that motivation so much to really go and give any teams a good hiding, and you know, for them it's just make sure they don't lose the games really. So I just think that's just going to take a little bit away from Salah as an asset, and you'd like to think he'd be motivated to, you know, try and score as many as possible and break some more records, but I'm going to keep him in the side because he is just so highly owned and there's no point going against him totally. But I think I'm probably not going to captain him for at least the next 3 weeks, potentially 4 weeks. So he'll stay there in the team. I'm obviously not going to transfer him out, but he's probably likely just going to be my vice captain most weeks for most of the season now, I would say. And Kluivert is away to West Ham. Decided to keep him over Semenyo. He's definitely the better asset in terms of goals and assists. He missed the last game. I saw something about a muscle injury that would overload, I think was the quote. And then there was also something about an illness, so I'm not really sure the situation with him. But I'm quite happy to keep him in the side and, you know, play him. If he's going to play, then I definitely want him starting. If he does miss out, I have got Pedro on the bench, so yeah, I'm not going to worry about transferring him out or anything like that. And I certainly wouldn't transfer him out ahead of Semenyo. So yeah, I'll just hold on, see if there's any news, and unless he gets ruled out for a good number of games, I'm definitely going to hang on to Kluivert for now. Then obviously Semenyo would be the double up, but most likely I'm going to move him onto Gordon, I think. So, and I think if I don't move him onto Gordon, I'll probably end up going to Murphy at Newcastle or something like this. So I doubt Semenyo's going to be in the team after the deadline. And Fernandes is at home to City. Now, I keep saying this with Fernandes, he's the main man for United. And yeah, City at home is a big game. He's the big game player for us, and if anyone's going to score a goal in that, it's going to be him. So yeah, I'm not overly optimistic. We played pretty well in the Forest game, but just lacking that little bit at the top end. So yeah, no expectations here, but he's going to probably sit in my team for a good number of weeks. Anyway, just haven't got the transfers to take him out, so yeah, keep him there for at least another 2 or 3 weeks, I'd imagine. And Palmer's away to Brentford. He did look much better this evening against Spurs. Got his assist with a nice cross. He's got to get a goal at some point soon, you'd imagine. So, yeah, it'd be a good time for him to get on the score sheet away at Brentford and maybe go on a little run from here. I'd like to keep him in my team for the rest of the season because I think a lot of people have got rid of him, and you know, it'll be nice to have a bit of his points actually making a difference to the team. So yeah, for me, Palmer staying at least another couple of weeks and reassess after that, I think. And moving on to the forwards, Isak is away to Leicester. Now, he did come off early in the previous game against Brentford. I think he played about an hour. He had a bit of a groin issue. Now, groin issue sometimes you can shake it off with a bit of rest and if you carefully manage it, but it's also something that's a bit worrying because it's something that can reoccur quite often if you don't if it doesn't fully recover. So I am likely to captain Isak this week. It is obviously the best fixture, I think, Leicester. Like I said, I wanted to captain Isak 3 weeks in a row. So just going to have to see if there's any news on the injury. I think the last few times there's been some doubts over him. Eddie has been a bit more honest, but he's not really to be trusted. So just have to see if there's any training pictures or anything. But yeah, it'd be the likely captain for me, unless I've got any doubts about him playing the game. Then Mateta is at home to Brighton. Now, he only got just under an hour against Southampton, which was a bit disappointing. Hit the bar really early in the game and had a couple of other chances. So I'm not too worried about him, but it's obviously not as great a fixture home against Brighton. But he still looks very threatening. He's the main man for Palace, and yeah, I just think he's got the double in 32. So he's going to sit there for another few weeks for me at least. And yeah, Brighton did concede 3 to Villa. So yeah, sometimes they can be quite leaky, and yeah, Mateta for me he's looked great in the last few months. So yeah, I'm happy to have him for at least most of the rest of the season. So just in summary then, probably going to captain Isak if fit. Salah probably be the vice captain, and Gordon likely transfer in for Semenyo. I can't really see Semenyo being in my team. If Gordon's not fit, probably go Murphy instead, I'd say. Ready for the double in 32. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.